how are you today? Hope all of you is in good condition today. Okay, I am Yulia Dwi Kartika and my friend.
Hi, I am Mayang Wibawati.
Yeah, today we are going to explain to you about clothes and types of clothes. For the first material, we have to know about definition of clothes. Let's know about the definition of clothes. Check it out.
Okay, the first material is the definition. So what is clothes? Clothes is a group of related words, but unlike a phrase, a clause has a subject and predicate. It does not stand alone, but becomes a complement to another sentences. A clause may stand as a simple sentence or may join another clause to make a sentence. Therefore, a sentence can consist of one, two, or more clauses.
And then there are examples of clause. The first, he laughed, is contain one clause. The second, my kitty is sleeping, is contain one clause. And the third, the teacher asked a question but no one answered, is contain two clause. The first is the teacher asked a question and the second, no one answered. And then I like mathematics but my brother likes biology because he wants to be a doctor. It contains three clauses. The first is I like mathematics. The second, my brother likes biology, and the third, he wants to become a doctor.
For the first, I want to tell you about main clause. A main clause, which is the most basic clause, are also known as independent clause. The main clause is a clause that expresses a complete thought and can stand as a sentence. The main clause is able to stand on its own and can actually be said to be a sentence, but then another clause is added. It is called the independent clause. Two or more independent clause can be joined by using coordinating conjunction such as and, but, for, nor, and etc. or by using semicolons. Okay, we have to know the most important thing to remember is that an independent clause can stand alone as a complete sentence. The important point to remember is that every sentence must have at least one main clause. Okay, a sentence must have at least one main clause. Okay, for the pattern, let's check. For the pattern, subject plus verb, so we can get the complete thought. For example, lazy students whine. Lazy students is subject and whine is verb. So that is independent clause because the sentence can stand alone without the other clause. Okay. The other example, she doesn't know where to share her feeling. This example is a combination of the independent clause and the dependent clause. She doesn't know that is independent clause because can stand alone. Now for the other clause, where to share her feeling is dependent clause because can't stand alone. Okay, the second types of clause is subordinate clause. Subordinate clause has a subject and verb, but unlike an independent clause, cannot stand it by itself. it depends on something else in the sentence to express a complete thought, which is why it's also called dependent clause. Okay. The important things to remember about subordinate clause is that they can never stand alone as a complete sentence. To complete the thought, we must attach its subordinate clause to a main clause. Okay. Some subordinate clauses are introduced by relative pronoun such as who, whom, that, which, what, and other, and some by subordinating conjunction such as because, although, if, unless, etc. Okay. Now for the pattern, let's check it. The next for the pattern, subordinate plus subject plus verb. So we can get the incomplete thought. Okay. Now for example, because my dog loves pizza crust. Now because it's subordinate, and then my dog is subject, loves is verb. Okay, pizza crust is object. So this sentence is dependent clause because can't stand alone. Okay, harus ada sesuatu di depannya untuk menjelaskan kenapa sesuatu yang kemudian dijelaskan, karena anjingnya itu suka makan pizza itu tadi. Begitu. Jadi harus ada sesuatu di depannya. Okay, and then the next example is but no one answered. Nah, but is subordinate conjunction. Okay, no one is subject, and then answered is verb. Okay, that sentence is incomplete sentence because we have to know the main sentence before but. Okay, and then subordinate clauses function in sentence can be adjectives, noun, and adverbs. Okay, for know about 3 functions of subordinate clauses, let's check it out. Okay, for the first types of subordinate clause is noun clause. A dependent clause that function as a noun in a sentence is called noun clause. A noun clause performs some function like a noun in a sentence. This clause can use subordinators such as what, why, how, where, when, and other. For example, let's know. For example, you really don't want to know what Aunt Nancy adds to her stove. Nah, this example, we can know that what Aunt Nancy adds to her stove is noun clause as an object, okay? Because in this clause there is a subordinators what. Okay, maybe this can be replaced with ingredients gitu. Jadi what Aunt Nancy adds to her stove itu jadi sesuatu yang ditambahkan oleh Bibi Nancy ini ke hair style-nya itu kayak gitu. Nah, di situ udah jelas sebagai objek, karena objek tapi yang di situ disamarkan, jadinya what itu di situ termasuk subordinatorsnya begitu. Nah, for the next example, a noun clause as a subject. Nah, what I want for dinner is a sandwich. Nah, what I want for dinner kayak gitu. Nah, itu di situ termasuk subjek dengan subordinators what. Oke, jadi di situ dia tidak bisa berdiri sendiri clause-nya karena di situ kemudian di belakangnya dijelaskan dengan adanya verb is dan object a sandwich begitu. Oke. Nah, itu penjelasan untuk non clause.
The next is about adjective clause or relative clause. A dependent clause that functions as an adjective in a sentence is called adjective clause. An adjective clause works like adjective in a sentence. In generally, adjective clause is also called relative clause. The function of an adjective is to modify or describe a noun or a pronoun.
For the example, we have 3 sentences. The first is he wears a shirt which looks nice. The clause which looks nice in the above sentence is an adjective clause because it modifies noun shirt in the sentence. An adjective clause always precedes the noun it modifies. The second is I met the boy who had helped me. Who had helped me is the example of adjective clause. The house where I live consists of 4 rooms. Where I live is the example of adjective clause.
And the next, we have adverbial clause. An adverb clause is a group of words that function as an adverb in a sentence. Adverb clauses can be used to add explanatory detail to your writing or explain how or why things happen. To identify adverb clauses, you will need to understand what an adverb does as well as how a clause is formed. Adverb clauses can be placed at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence.
Here is examples of adverb clauses. The first is adverb clauses of place. These adverbial clauses answer the question where. Wherever there is music, people will dance. Wherever there is music is an adverb clauses. The second is adverb clauses of time. These adverbial clauses answer the question when.
And the last are restrictive and non-restrictive clause. A restrictive clause contains information which is necessary for the sentence to deliver the meaning intended. There should be no commas before and after the clause. And then non-restrictive clauses are clauses that are not really necessary in the sentence. They just give additional information. Commas are used to set off these non-essential elements.
Okay, there are the examples of restrictive clause. The first is the government supports people who are 60 years old and above through the senior citizens discount. The second is sub-senior citizens who are aware of this program appreciate what the government is doing for them. And the last, the legislator who authored this law needs to be commended. And the next, we have the examples of non-restrictive clauses. The first is Peter Jones, who plays goalkeeper for our village football team, has worked at his father's greengrocers for 20 years. The shaded text is a non-restrictive clause. It describes Peter Jones, but it does not identify him. It is merely additional information about him. Deleting this clause would not affect the meaning. And the next, I went to London with John Baker, who lives next door. And the third, Betty, who is still on the ferry, will arrive before 4 o'clock. And then the last, every journalist has a novel in him, which is an excellent place for it.
Okay, that's all our explanation today about clause. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask us anytime. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.